How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Pennyworth, Season 2. This is from 2020/2021 and originally aired on Epix. This would actually be the last season that came out on Epix. Afterwards, the show would move to HBO Max, where at the time of recording, you can watch both seasons of the show. And later on this year, they say Season 3 is actually going to come out, so really excited for that. This is definitely kind of a hidden gem show. It's really good, and I'm glad it got its third season, so I'll be looking forward to that later this year. So yeah, thanks to HBO Max for that. Really a much better home, because HBO Max is where all the other most of the other DC stuff is anyway, you know? But anyway, this is created by Bruno Heller, stars Jack Bannon, Aldridge and Emma Paetz, and is based on DC Comics characters created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger. And overall, this season is a definite escalation. You know, there's a lot more for the characters to do, there's a lot more for the story. All the characters really get pushed in this season, and some crazy stuff happens. This is the Civil War / Casablanca season. Lots of crazy stuff. You know, in the first season, we got hints that England was building towards a civil war. Well, this season it happens. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty over the top. You walk outside to England and you see barricades, you see craters from an explosion. It's that classic 1960s England atmosphere that the first one had, but this time mix it with a World War II atmosphere, get a totally different flavor. And yeah, this season did a great job elevating the stakes, doing something different, and we get to see a lot of character development from all our characters, especially Alfred there. Without further ado, let's go ahead and talk a bit about the plot. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to analyze the plot and really say where each character is and what they're going to be doing this season, but I won't be talking about the end, so no major spoilers. Let's go ahead and dive right in. We open up with 1 year having passed since Season 1. So 1 year has passed, and all the bad guys that were in jail at the end of the first season, there was that bombing, they used all the chaos and confusion to break out of jail. I really wish we got to see this happen, but the season starts up 1 year later, and there's no flashback, so we don't actually get to see this. But they're all out, and the Raven Society is winning the war. They've taken over most of England, but not quite London itself yet. So yeah, the Civil War is officially breaking out, and the No Name League has officially joined with the English government, and they're trying to hang on to what little bit they can. Thomas Wayne is officially out now as a member of the CIA, and in turn he represents America and America's interest here, and we do get a sense that the government interests aren't always his personal beliefs, and he really does have to struggle with going, look, this is what I have to say from America, but this isn't necessarily what I believe with. In particular, they want to stay out of the war, and they want to back who they think is going to win, which sadly, they think the Raven Society is going to win. So there is some conflict, and especially with Martha. Martha is very idealistic. She's fighting because it's what she believes in. So when Thomas Wayne has to say, look, I represent the government, and the government thinks this, it's not what I really think, it really does kind of drive a wedge between them, you know? So he has to really decide what he actually wants to do here, which I thought was pretty good. Lord Harwood, like I said, he's actually winning at the beginning, but something is slowly driving him mad. There's a mysterious force that's making him go insane, and I really do like, you know, Lord Harwood, the bad guy, but we've really seen him in his ups and downs, you know, him on the street as a beggar, and now him at the top of his game. You know, I really do like that. And also, he has a new weapon, Operation Stormcloud, which is this poison that can kill hundreds of thousands of people. And, they're the bad guys, but it's not super black and white. There are people in the Raven Society that go, I hate that we have to have this, but it's a good threat, and it will end the war sooner. But then there's also people in the Raven Society that really, really want to push that button, and that's a terrible thing, So, yeah, diverse sides. We also get Bet, the girl with a thick country accent, and she's promoted to a high-ranking officer, and she's sniffing out rebels, right? But one of the girls she starts to get attached to, like Alfred's girlfriend from season 1, and she's attached to this girl, and when the torture goes too far, she decides to forsake her rank and get her out of there, and she goes on the run trying to get to someone that can help them, but you find that in the middle of a war-torn England, it's kind of hard to get to the people that are on your side. And so you get her, who was a captor, and the other girl she's with, who was the prisoner, and they have to kind of learn to trust each other while they're on the run, which is a pretty interesting plot. Now, all that said, Alfred himself. Alfred is now running a club, again, Casablanca-esque. He's running a club, and he's trying to stay neutral. He's trying to stay all for himself, right? But it's kind of hard to do that with everybody fighting around you. But his goal is to get money. He gets money, and he can get him and his friends and his family out of England. He just wants to leave, And at one point, after all this chaos and insanity, Dave Boy will say, I really hope America's great, because so many people have died to get us there. And you really do see this. This journey they're going on is so much sacrifice, and there's so many questionable decisions they have to make. For example, one of Alfred's old superior officers is a thief now, and he's like, that's definitely a bad thing to do, but it would give me money, and I do need money. I do want to save my friends and family. So, yeah, you really get to see Alfred drift into the morally gray. He's not evil, but he has to make some really tough decisions. But I do like where he comes out at the end, and I won't spoil it, but you really see he comes out changed at the end of this season, and I definitely do like that, But yeah, he's out there taking any job he can. Like I said earlier, this definitely has that 1960s English atmosphere. I cannot tell you how many times they say, put the kettle on. But it's that mixed with World War II aesthetics for a different flavor, but it still very much is that unique charm that we liked the first season for. So it's a lot of the same, but very different, and we get to see higher stakes, higher dilemmas, and yeah, some really crazy stuff. And they do balance a big board with lots of characters, lots of moving pieces, and overall, really interesting. Higher stakes. This is the war season, and there are some cool comic book stuff. For example, Thomas Wayne was shot at the end of the last season, and he comes back and he's like, yeah, I was in the hospital for a while. I have an interest in medicine now, which is cool because he was a doctor in the comics, and you see this is where he got that interest from, so that's cool. And we also get two characters who at the end of this season are reinvented, and these two characters are not directly from the comics, but boy, do they feel like something from a Batman comic. So I am glad we are moving in that direction. I would love to see this show eventually get to the point of the comics, Now that being said, there is one thing towards the end of the season that they do to surprise you. It's something that goes in a different direction than you think. And it really did have that feel of, it's a surprise, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, but now we have further to go to get to where we are in the comics, and I was kind of excited to see it get there sooner. I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes in Season 3. But anyway, yeah, really did like it. I really can't wait for the next season. This season did have a definite sense of escalation, and I'd be curious to see where the next season goes. I want to stay on par, but I mean, we can't get too crazy, right? But I really did like it. It's the Civil War season. It's such, a step up in energy and stakes and stuff. So I really did enjoy this new season, and I can't wait till season 3 to come out later. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. If you guys want to see more, you can click right there and see more. This should be my TV shows playlist if you want to see me talk about other shows. I have a few in there, as well as some individual episodes. Well, a lot of individual episodes for a few other shows. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. TV shows playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.